question, the member from Monarch, Addington, and Merritt.
Thank you. Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, my question is to the Premier. Premier, there's a sad irony in what has transpired since last Thursday in question period. You informed the House last Thursday, as we all learned about the contraventions of the Election Act by your staff, that you would take time to consider and deliberate about the report before you respond. I was hoping for honesty, a quality that you preach constantly. But I was left astonished on Friday. Instead of speaking honestly, you impugned and maligned the reputation of every member in this House with an unwarranted attack. Premier, it's telling that no one trusts you. Even your candidates bring tape recorders to their meetings with you because they all know you say one thing and you do another. Premier, why should anyone trust you about anything? Especially after what has taken place in Sudbury and your involvement.
Thank you. Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I really do challenge the premise of the question, but I want to just say to the member opposite that I spoke in the legislature on Thursday. That's exactly right. I answered questions, and I got a lot of advice, and I thought long and hard about what I was going to say on Friday, Mr. Speaker, and at 4 o'clock in the morning I got up and actually wrote the statement that I made on Friday because I wanted the people of Ontario to know exactly where I was coming from in this, Mr. Speaker, why I was doing what I was doing, why I had done what I had done. And you know, I did include in my statement the fact that there have been actions taken by other parties, like members coming across the floor to ask for appointments in exchange for stepping down from their seats. And I made that point, Mr. Speaker, because I needed the people of Ontario to understand that we said no. We said we're not going to do that. We're not going to operate like that, Mr. Speaker, even though that is what has been done before. That's why.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Speaker, Premier, you continue to malign and impugn members in this House. If that's a fact, come forward, come clean, tell us who they are. Premier, you challenge the premise to my question. I'm challenging your integrity. You have stood in this House and have said one thing after another, and they've all borne out to be false, each and every time. And with each falsehood, we have another OPP investigation. Premier,
I'm drawing the line on that. Withdraw, please.
I withdraw.
Listening carefully.
Premier, 4 investigations now. Every time you say one thing, you do another. You have evidence. There's clear evidence of your involvement here, and you need to come clean with the people of Ontario. And you can't continue to impugn the members in this House in your defence of your actions.
Thank you. Stop the clock, please. You see it, please? Thank you. Premier.
So, Mr. Speaker, let's just be clear what the Chief Electoral Officer said. Once again, the Chief Electoral Officer stated, and I quote, "I am neither deciding to prosecute a matter nor determining anyone's guilt or innocence. Those decisions are respectively for prosecutors and judges," unquote. So that's the fact. We're dealing with allegations, Mr. Speaker. And let me just say to the member opposite, unlike the way he might do business, Mr. Speaker, I was making a point in my statement on Friday. I wasn't creating a situation where individuals' names were going to be dragged through the mud. That's not what I was doing, Mr. Speaker. I was making a point. The fact is that this is something that has happened in the past, and it has happened in the recent past, Mr. Speaker. It's not about going after an individual. It really is not what it was about, Mr. Speaker. I was trying to put in context the fact that we are doing things differently, Mr. Speaker. We said no in those situations when in the past the answer has been yes, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.